Grant, good afternoon. How are you doing in this chilly afternoon in Auckland?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, Gary. It's great to join you and have a chance to chat about some of the stuff that we're doing. And yes, it has been pretty chilly, especially in the mornings. I had ice on my windscreen this morning, and so it's a true sign that we're really progressing through the year.
Yeah, yeah. I get up. I get up every day at 5:33, and I go for a run. And I had my beanie on and gloves and everything. It was cold today in the morning to go for a run. um, Grant, I want to start with a question about the group, the business strategy, because we met, I think, probably about a year ago when I joined the group, maybe a little bit more than that. Um, tell me a little bit more about it. How does it work? Why have you started it?
Yeah, sure. Well, as Kiwis, we know that we've got a very independent kind of an attitude, and we often maybe not overestimate our capability, but certainly feel that we've got to give pretty much everything a go.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I discovered as I started to investigate this world of business and business networking is that each and every person's got their own unique skill set, the different contribution that they bring, even their interest area, but certainly the area where they're in flow, where they're doing their best work. And that's different for almost everybody. And I discovered many business owners that were trying to run all of the tasks within a business in the same kind of way as they might approach that, and getting a wide variety of different areas of success. The key that I hit upon is that when everybody who's working is able to work on their most natural strength and the thing they do most naturally, business overall flows much easier. Projects get done faster, they come in on budget, customers are delighted. And I learned that the secret behind that, particularly in the solopreneur market, was to encourage business owners to work with each other. And by forming partnerships and working together, they were able to get a much, much better outcome. Now, that's only one element of what we do. We do a lot more in larger business networking and other areas. But I guess at the core, the whole idea is that in order for businesses to be able to grow, that connection is critical. And being able to get out and make those connections is really the key magic sauce that helps businesses grow. And so once I discovered that, I was excited to be able to share it with as many people as possible. And out of that idea grew the groups that we're running today, the different areas around where we're running networking events, the video events, and all of the other different things that we do exist, I guess, to support the people that are focused on that mission of growing business by making amazing connections.
Yeah. And so how long has the group been running? When did you start it?
Yeah, so around about 4 years ago, the group was founded, and we've been growing in leaps and bounds ever since. We're very fortunate because I believe, Gary, we're very much on the crest of a wave. More and more people all around the world are realizing that if they want to have security and assurity about their future, they need to take responsibility for what they're doing, developing expertise and a following in their own area. And a lot of the thought leadership that's going on in the sort of social selling, social enterprise, and business growth areas follows this as well. So because we're a group that focuses in this area, we've been very blessed to attract people from all different industries, sizes of business, and stages of business growth to become a part of this movement, join in with what we're doing, and become a part of the business growth movement.
Yeah. And right now it's still just in Auckland, isn't it? It hasn't gone, you haven't taken it through to the rest of the country.
Yeah, well, like any type of online platform, we're a hybrid business. So most of our recruitment and some of our engagement, we do a lot of work online from an attraction point of view. But the key thing for us, like many businesses, is that we want to take that conversation offline and put it in person, which is where all the best connections happen. So we've got a combination of both online and in-person activities. So event activities, also directories and profiling, also specials and other types of things that people can take into the community. So yes, we found an area of resonance, which is Auckland. And we're able to run in-person meetups in several different areas across Auckland. But actually, our extended network goes right the way across New Zealand and international in some cases. Okay. Do you know what? During the COVID lockdown, we've been doing some virtual events, And we've been attracting people from Australia, the States,
Oh,
even Japan to some of those events. So I guess you never quite know where the next person's going to pop up from.
yeah, yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, the whole virtual world has really changed things during the COVID-19 with people going internationally. I know that I find it ridiculous that I ended up speaking all over the world just from my own home office
Yeah.
through that. So in that network, there's about 5,000 people right now that are part of the network, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, like I mentioned earlier, we're attracting people at a fantastic rate. And I believe that the reason that the people are being attracted is because our group and our ethos, our philosophy is all about this being able to become responsible, take
Mm.
independence, and grow your skill set and business along there. So we've been very fortunate to attract many people, and as you say, yeah, more than 5,000. In fact, more than 5,600 members in the group now, and a continual process of bringing new people
Mm.
in. One of the great things about networking is that you do get exposed to many different types of people and different industries. And personally, I find that tremendously interesting. And the opportunity to go along to a group where you're going to have a few people that you know and a bunch of people that you know that you're going to learn new things and be exposed to new ideas each and every time you go along. And that's part of the attraction.
Yeah, yeah. So from memory, you have got there's every month there are meetings in various parts of Auckland. So there's one in central Auckland, one in east, and one on the North Shore. And there's different topics, different themes to those meetings.
Yeah, very much so. So one of the things that I believe is if you want to encourage people to network, you need to be where those people are.
Mm.
There's no point in running a single sort of group in one location and encouraging or requiring everybody to come to you, or they won't be part of it. We know that Kiwis love to do business with each other, that it's about having a human relationship. And in many situations, it's actually about a local relationship as well.
Mm.
So one of the things that we have done over the last couple of years is to expand out from our original location to holding meetups in different suburbs of Auckland where people are. And the whole idea is that then the locals get to meet locals, and they can explore the idea of doing business together. We've seen that time and time again with providers that are in a particular geographical suburb or area of Auckland, that they want to be able to do business with each other in that area for
Yeah.
convenience, to minimize the travel, maximize the customer connection, and so on and so forth. So that whole idea was really important. In fact, at the start of this year, and it has been derailed a little bit now, I had a goal to grow out to 5 monthly meetings in 5 suburbs around Auckland. At the moment, we're in 3 suburbs plus an online version. So we're sort of in 4 areas. But hopefully now that we're out and we've got the opportunity to be back in person more often, we're continually looking for like-minded individuals to help us expand and take our message into the additional suburbs around Auckland.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned this idea of themes. One of the things that we introduced in 2020 was I noticed that everybody needs an opportunity to share what they do in business so that people can get a handle on it and look for opportunities for them, referrals, and grow. Now, not everybody has the opportunity to be able to do that in their regular course of their regular business activity. Some people are busy or maybe tied to a location, a shop, or anything like that. So I wanted to provide a platform, a chance for businesses to be able to share what they do with like-minded owners, be able to share some of their knowledge, contribute a bit to others in the audience, and at the same time also probably be able to show off a little bit of their expertise and attract people that would like to do business with them through the opportunity to share their business on one of our meetup platforms where people can come in and have the stage to share about what they do.
Yeah.
Now, because we've got such a diverse range of industries that are part of the meetup, and that's part of the attraction, you're not going to meet the same old people that you see at a particular industry event. I wanted to give everybody the chance to showcase what they did. So we came up with the idea of having themes. So each month we run through a particular theme. One month it might be sales and customer service. One month it might be finance. One month it might be insurance or business coaching, any one of those different ideas. And the whole idea is that from our broad member base, people who want to share about their area of expertise have got a month that they can book in to come into one of these meetings and take the stage to share about what they do.
Yeah. yeah, and I've experienced that, and it was brilliant. So other than, because I think you do quite a few things other than the monthly meetings. There's more things that you do with the network, isn't? I think there was some quick
Yep.
networking meetings and other things as well. What are the other options, or what are other things people can join?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are quite a few different areas, and we're continually trying to reinvent the activities that we do to align well with where people are at with different types of businesses, the market trends, and so forth. You know, during COVID, we couldn't meet in face to face,
Mm,
so we worked very hard on building out our online platform and the ability for people to share via Zoom and other meeting types to kind of be able to continue to meet even though we couldn't meet physically. And one of our current events, our pop-up video networking that I'm doing in association with the Small Business Owners Network on Facebook, that we're now running a fortnightly kind of business accountability group using Zoom. And it's an opportunity, again, for people from all over New Zealand that wouldn't otherwise be a part of a meeting to be able to come together and share those ideas and get fresh ideas from others as well.
yeah,
One of the other things that we've been involved with is typically a lot of the types of individuals that are attracted to the network at the moment are in that small to medium business category. But we know that networking extends far beyond there into businesses of all sizes, and even internationals and all different job and role types as well. So we've also created partnerships with organizations like the Engine, a business consultancy, to take larger events. In fact, we've got one coming up shortly, the Business Workplace Rejuvenation and Wellness Forum. The whole idea behind that is to talk to larger businesses about how their workplace, their work culture, and their approach to both their employees and their customers needs to transform to adopt to the way that we've all moved to and working. We're not remote anymore. We're not in the office. We're sort of a combination of the two.
yeah,
So the whole idea is to bring together experts in that particular topic and provide a forum that includes not only business networking, but also thought leadership and the opportunity to share ideas with other businesses altogether. So no matter the type of business, the size of business, or the role of the individual, we've tried to adapt a variety of different offerings to meet what their needs are, so we can engage them and help them along on their journey.
yeah, yeah. Great. So I remember being in one of the meetings where the lady from the engine room spoke, and that sounded really interesting. Do you find that people will only come to their area, or do you find that people will travel to other areas as well to network with more people?
Yeah, look, it's really interesting, Gary. I think that ultimately comes down to the personality of the person. So we know that there are some people who are just naturally great with other people, and I find that a lot of those will go to multiple meetups in multiple areas. And one of the things that's unique about the group that we run is we don't place any restrictions on the type of business that comes along to any one meetup. So it's not uncommon, for example, to find 2 or sometimes even 3 people that work in the digital marketing area at a meetup. Now, the interesting thing that I've found about that is rather than trying to keep them separate, when you bring people like that together, they actually share the best of what they do and can generally produce a better overall outcome from a customer by sharing some of that work. And in some situations, I've found companies at different levels where they're working with clients that are not quite right for them, and they've been able to nicely kind of share those around, growing the pie for everyone. Now, there's also people that don't naturally network. They're the types of people who go along to a conference, and there might be 1,000 people at the conference, and it breaks there in the coffee line, or they're spending time on their phone or whatever, and they'll walk away from the event going, "Jeepers, I didn't meet anyone,"
Yeah,
but there are 1,000 people at the event. I mean, come on. So, but these people also know that in order for their business to grow, they simply must network. So they put on their brave hat again, and out
yeah,
they trot to the next event. So to accommodate for that type of personality, we also have events that have got a lot more structure so that people know exactly when they're coming in. We've got definitions around the outside of meetings as to what the topic's going to be, how long people are going to speak, what the expectations are, and that kind of thing. We're just trying to, in that instance, take all of the variable factor that some people thrive on, but others just really don't like that variable
yeah.
factor out, so that they can also successfully network.
Yeah, yeah. I have to confess that I am one of those people. I think I learned how to network, but it's not something that I do naturally. So for people like me with your with your experience and observing how people interact with each other and what people do in the meetings, are there any tips or some ideas that you can tell people to
Yeah.
suggest to people to go, hey, look, if you go to a networking meeting, do this or do that, or avoid doing certain things to make it easier?
So yes, I mean there are obviously many tips that that you can kind of work through. And I remember you talking about your story about door knocking.
Mm.
And the idea that sometimes you just have to face your fear and get through a few of them so that you become more comfortable with that type of thing. Now, look, there is an element of that. You need to be motivated, and you need to be brave enough to step up and give people a go. At the same time, it's worthwhile taking a deep breath and just relaxing, because everybody's there to meet people. They're all there to enjoy themselves. Nobody's there to harass other people. So it's an understanding and a coming to grips with that mindset inside your own mind so that you can relax and enjoy an event. Preparation often helps, having an understanding of what types of things you're going to cover, and also taking time to pause and listen and be present for the person on the other side of the table that's got a story to tell you can often work really, really well. And as people put together a combination of those different things, understanding the purpose of the event, having a good idea of what their unique value is, what they're there to add from a personal, from a company, and potentially from a brand or solution point of view, and taking the time to realize that it's givers who gain, and be there for the other person. All of those things play into really creating a great event. And let's not forget at the end of the day that even if you're an event with 50 people, probably there's only going to be one or two or three that are going to be the people that you'll really go on with and meet after the event and develop a business relationship. So it's not a race. It's not about handing out as many business cards as you can or trying to shake as many hands as you can, pat as many babies over the course of an hour or an hour and a half. It's about identifying where and who might be really great people that you can add value to and that can probably add value to you, identifying them, and then being able to take that step forward in an event and go up and shake their hand, or in fact get somebody like myself or other people that are part of the event to provide an introduction. Those things all work really well.
Yeah. Do you find that you have some people who are groupies, people who constantly come to meeting after meeting after meeting and network, or is it more people come every once in a while and disappear and then come back? What
Yeah. So this is one area where having a number of meetings works really well, because I can give you some demographics. But typically in the meetups that we run, we have around about 40 to 50% of people who come on a regular basis, and around about 50 to 60% of people who come either for the first time or only come sporadically. Now that varies a lot depending on the type of networking event and the type of networking organization that you get involved with. Other organizations have a much stronger structure, and there's a strong expectation to turn up, let's say, every fortnight. We decided to take an alternative approach with business strategy networking because we wanted to have a very open and inclusive environment where we could set the parameters of the event. This is a business networking event. You're here to meet and create initial connections with others, share what you do. It's not about making personal connections. It's about business connections. It's not about developing wide-ranging repeat business and sort of closing. It's not about going in there to make sales. It's about going in there to build relationships. And within the bounds of that, we get people that want to experience that on a regular basis, and others that come along, they'll get their fill of that and then they'll come back a few months later. We also find, of course, because we do theme our meetups, that different people are interested in different topics. So they might pick specific ones to come along to based on that topic. But mostly people come along because they enjoy the atmosphere, they want to support this type of networking, and they realize that networking of all types is beneficial for their business. And no matter what the topic, they're probably going to learn something, meet someone new, and have a good time.
Yeah. We spoke about it a little bit just before we started the recording, but how did the pandemic and the lockdown, how did that affect or change the way that the events were operating?
Yeah, sure. Well, look, anybody in the events business will know that COVID-19 and the lockdown, both in New Zealand and globally, had a pretty devastating effect on the events industry. From regulation, we were all prevented from being able to meet. And in our case, our meetings are generally pretty small. It's pretty rare we would have more than 80 people at one event. So we're at the lower end of the number of attendees. But nevertheless, obviously, everybody was restricted. So for me, I felt that a lot of people that were going into that lockdown, isolation was probably going to be a big issue. And I immediately turned my focus into asking the question, well, how can we connect people when they can't be physically connected?
Mm.
And we came up with a range of different options to do that. One of the things that we did is we enhanced our website so that people could share promotions, articles, points of view and interest, blogs and podcasts straight from our platform. So with anyone with a listing in our experts directory could share that other type of content that they create and get feedback on it, and continue to have a relationship with prospects utilizing that platform. In addition to that, we obviously started up or moved our offline in-person events into virtual events, so that people could still connect up via Zoom and meet with each other, even though they weren't able to physically. And we also introduced the concept of virtual business cards. So people who are coming along to those events could pop their name and business contact details into a little form, and we'd create for them, using their logo, a virtual business card that would brand them as being a part of the event. They could enjoy the live stream content that was coming down and also see the other people that were taking part, and then be able to click through to their websites and network or connect with those people afterwards as well. So as much as possible, we tried to preserve that approach, that mindset of building great businesses, all about making amazing connections.
Yeah, yeah. So are you now back to physical meetings again?
Yeah, so everybody's talking about this idea of the new normal, right? And we're not exactly the same as we were, but we're not all locked down. We're something different. And business strategy networking is exactly the same. So moving forward from here, we're going to take a hybrid approach where, first of all, in-person meetings are very, very important and central to everything that we do. So as fast as possible, we're moving back to in-person meetings. And I'm really happy to say that in July, we're going to be running 3 in-person meetings. The next one's coming up quite soon, Monday the 6th up in Albany. Then following on from there, the following Monday in East Auckland, and then the 3rd Tuesday of the month, we're going to be, and I've just finalised the venue this morning actually, we're going to be at the Long Room in Ponsonby for our first CBD meetup post-COVID. So those things are very, very important. But we're also going to continue the things that work best for us online. The virtual business cards, the pop-up networking events, and the ability for people to share what they're doing through our experts directory. All of those things were great successes, and I think we should continue them. It also gives our community members and our movement reach beyond the Auckland area and reach beyond those events that they can get to other like-minded business owners.
Yeah. If people, so obviously it's quite a big group. If and I think from memory, I think I may have found a group on Meetup. If people want to join the group to find more information about it, where's the best place for them to go for it?
Oh, look, I think Meetup is an excellent place to go as part of that journey. So if you're not familiar with the platform, you can just jump on to meetup.com. It'll recognize that you're coming in our case, from the Auckland area, and come up with a few different suggestions for groups. So if you pop business in there, or our group name, which is Auckland Business Strategy, into the search bar, then it will pop up. You'll see a photo of us, and we've got many photos of past events. So you can drop in there, you can take a look at what one of our past events looks like, some of the people that were there, the conversation topics, and so on and so forth, and get an idea as to how you could be a part of that business networking effort. So Meetup's probably the very best place. Beyond there, we've also got presence on the other social platforms, but our community website is probably a great place to go. So it's http businessstrategy.nz, no .co, just businessstrategy.nz. That'll take you through to our secured website, and you can take a look there at all of the different activities that we're doing, the social enterprise activity that we're involved with, who many of our members are in our experts directory, the articles, photos from previous events. Where we've done online events, then you'll be able to access recordings of that and get some of the great insights that our speakers have shared with us during our online recording, including this one, Gary.
Right. And I try and always get a little bit philosophical at the end of the interview with asking people about hopes into the future, or a message of hope into the future. If you look into the future with where the network is right now and your business is, what is your message of hope, or where do you see things going into from here?
Well, I think the future is tremendously hopeful for people who are looking to embrace what that future looks like. We've got coming out of COVID, the business landscape has changed dramatically,
Mm.
and more than ever before, people from all different areas need to rely on their own skill set, the expertise, and doing what they love to do in order to create a successful environment around themselves. Whether that environment be their own business, some sort of consulting as a solo area, whether they're going to form a small company around their expertise and hire employees, or whether they're going to be an employee inside a larger business that's making a real difference. No matter which path people are looking for from here, one thing is for certain: they're going to need to be able to understand how and what they do when they're doing their best work, and focus in that area. Then develop a reputation around being the person that is great at doing that. And there are a lot of different techniques and social and other things to be able to share your expertise, your passion, and develop that knowledge and that community. And then to go from there to looking out in terms of future security, guaranteeing future income, and looking at diverse activities to bring in. For some people, it's multiple streams of income. For others, it is focusing and becoming known as the absolute best in what it is that they do. All of those different things, I think, are important. And I think that the entrepreneurial mindset, one of the things that we focus on and teach, is one of the key skills that are going to be able to help people to do that. Look, the world of the future does look different. We are going to have to adapt to it, and it's the people that embrace that adaptation, not necessarily all themselves, but get the right kinds of help and people along on the journey with them, that are all going to grow together. And I think that presents a huge opportunity, no matter what health or political or technological situations we're presented with in the future. We all know that all of those things are going to come and change our world. But I guess it's the difference between going out to the West Coast and jumping in the water, right? If you're in the water and you're being buffeted by these waves of change that are constantly crashing over you, you're going to have a tough time. But if you invest in the personal skills to be able to take that surfboard out with you, jump on the surfboard, paddle out past the breakers, and then to be able to swivel around, and when you catch that magic first wave and you're picked up as the water swells underneath you, and you start to feel that amazing free floating feeling that surfers feel as they're racing back in towards the beach, you know that no matter what the wave of change is happening underneath you, you're going to be surfing it, having a great time, making amazing connections, making money, and being successful in whatever it is that you construe success to be. So that's it for me.
Yeah, fabulous. That was a great metaphor, to comparing business and life to surfing and wave. Grant, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and appreciate you sharing the information and your knowledge. And I shall see you either on Monday or in a few weeks' time in one of the groups.
Gary, thanks a lot for the opportunity to share the afternoon. It's great to have a chat with you, and look forward to seeing you again as well in the very near future, and hopefully some of your viewers as well. Have a great day.